10 Stoic Lessons to Handle Disrespect. Stoicism. Someone just disrespected you. Maybe it was a cutting comment in a meeting, a mocking reply online, or a so-called friend who talks down to you every time you speak. And right now, something inside you is burning. You want to fire back, to defend yourself, to make them regret it. But what if the strongest move is the one they never expect? 2,000 years ago, the Stoics faced insults, slander, and humiliation, and they developed a way of responding that made them untouchable. Not because nobody insulted them, but because insults simply stopped working. Today, you're going to learn 10 Stoic lessons for handling disrespect with dignity. Stay until the end, because the last lesson changes everything. Lesson 1. An insult only lands if you accept it. Epictetus taught that it is not the person who insults you that harms you, but your own judgment that you have been harmed. Think about that. The words themselves are just sounds, just pixels on a screen. They only become an injury the moment you decide they are one. Imagine a stranger leaves a nasty comment under something you posted online. You can read it as a wound, or you can read it as noise from someone you've never met and never will. Same words. Completely different outcome. The difference is not in the comment. It's in your acceptance of it. The Stoics understood that an insult is like a package delivered to your door. You don't have to sign for it. Refuse delivery, and it returns to sender. Lesson 2. Their rudeness reveals their character, not yours. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman world, reminded himself that when someone acts shamefully, the shame belongs to them. Their behavior is a confession of who they are, not a verdict on who you are. Picture a coworker who interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, and takes credit for your work. What does that actually tell you about yourself? Nothing. But it tells you everything about them. Their insecurity, their fear, their poor training in how to be a decent human being. When you truly grasp this, disrespect starts to look less like an attack and more like a symptom. You wouldn't be offended by someone's cough. Why be offended by their character showing itself? Lesson 3. Silence can be your loudest answer. The Stoics prized self-command above almost everything, and nothing displays self-command like a calm, deliberate silence. When you refuse to take the bait, you deny the disrespectful person the one thing they crave, which is a reaction. Think about the last time you watched someone stay perfectly composed while being provoked. Who looked powerful in that moment? Who looked small? Say a family member mocks your career choice at dinner. You could argue, justify, and explain yourself into exhaustion. Or you could hold their gaze, let the silence stretch, and calmly change the subject. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is you declining to perform in someone else's theater. And the audience always notices who kept their dignity. Lesson 4. Not everything deserves a response. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to not be like the person who wronged you. Part of that is recognizing that most provocations simply don't merit your attention. Your time and your energy are the most limited resources you have. Every reply to a troll, every mental replay of a rude remark, is a withdrawal from that account. Ask yourself honestly, will this matter in a year? Will it matter in a week? Someone cuts you off in traffic and gestures at you like it was your fault. You could chase them down, or you could remember that you will never see this person again and their opinion of your driving is worth exactly nothing. Choose your battles, and you'll discover most of them aren't battles at all. Lesson 5. Expect disrespect, and it loses its sting. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings by telling himself that he would meet people who were meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, and rude. Not to become cynical, but to remove the element of surprise. Most of the pain from disrespect comes from the shock of it. We walk around expecting fairness, and reality keeps breaking that expectation. So prepare in advance. Before you open your comments section, before you walk into that tense meeting, before you visit that difficult relative, remind yourself that rudeness is a normal part of the human landscape. When it arrives, you won't be knocked off balance, because you saw it coming. A wave that you're braced for cannot sweep you off your feet the way a wave from behind can. Lesson 6. Control your response, because it's the only thing you can control. The foundation of all Stoic practice is the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you, and some things are not. Another person's words, tone, and behavior are not up to you. Your response is entirely. When your boss belittles you in front of the team, you cannot reach into their mind and delete their arrogance. But you can control whether you respond with panic, with fury, or with steady professionalism. Focusing on what they did keeps you helpless. Focusing on what you do next makes you powerful. Every moment of disrespect is really a fork in the road, and the Stoics train themselves to see only their own lane. Stay in yours, and no one can run you off the road. Lesson 7. Ask if there's truth in it, then discard the rest. Epictetus offered a surprisingly humble response to criticism. He essentially said, if they knew me better, they would have found worse things to mention. There is quiet power in that. When someone disrespects you, separate the delivery from the content. Was the delivery cruel? Probably. But is there a grain of truth buried inside it? Suppose a colleague sneers that your reports are always late. The sneer is their problem. The lateness might be yours. Take the useful fragment, fix what's yours to fix, and let the rudeness fall away like packaging. If there's no truth in it at all, then you've just confirmed the insult was empty, and empty things are easy to carry. Either way, you win. Lesson 8. Anger punishes you more than it punishes them. Seneca wrote an entire work on anger, and his conclusion was blunt. Anger is temporary madness, and it costs the angry person more than anyone else. When you explode at disrespect, your heart races, your judgment collapses, and you often say things that hand your enemy the victory. Think of the last time you fired off a furious message and regretted it an hour later. Who suffered more from that anger, the person who provoked you, or you, lying awake replaying it? The disrespectful person spent 5 seconds being rude. You spent 5 hours being consumed. That math never works in your favor. Delay your reaction. Breathe. Wait a day before replying. Anger cools quickly when you refuse to keep feeding it. Lesson 9. Set boundaries without rage. Stoicism is not about becoming a doormat. Marcus Aurelius corrected people, commanded armies, and enforced laws. The Stoic difference is that he aimed to do it without hatred. You can be firm and calm at the same time. In fact, calm firmness is far more effective than fury. If someone repeatedly talks over you in meetings, you don't have to swallow it. You can say, evenly and clearly, I wasn't finished. Please let me complete my point. No raised voice. No trembling anger. Just a boundary, stated like a fact of nature. People respect boundaries delivered with composure far more than boundaries screamed in desperation. Protecting your dignity is not unstoic. Losing your temper while doing it is. Lesson 10. Live so well that disrespect can't stick. Here is the lesson that changes everything. The deepest Stoic answer to disrespect is to build a character so solid that insults find nothing to grab onto. Marcus Aurelius said the best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the injury. When you know your own values, when your conscience is clean, when your actions match your principles, another person's contempt becomes almost irrelevant. They're describing someone who doesn't exist. Think of a craftsman who knows his work is excellent. A stranger scoffing doesn't shake him, because he has evidence. Become that person. Do your work with integrity, treat people justly, and keep your own standards high. Then disrespect becomes what it always was. Someone else's opinion, passing by. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember what you now know. You don't have to sign for the package. Their rudeness is their confession, not your verdict. Your silence can speak, your calm can command, and your character can make you untouchable. The Stoics weren't cold men hiding from the world. They were emperors, statesmen, and former slaves who faced far worse than a rude comment, and they refused to let other people write the script of their inner lives. That same power is available to you, today, in your very next difficult conversation. Because in the end, dignity is never something another person can take from you. It's only something you can give away. Don't give it away. If this message strengthened you, share it with someone who needs it, and remember, the obstacle is the way.